What would you do if everyone called you crazy for trying to save their lives, and the person who wanted you arrested became the one you had to rescue? A homeless man desperately warned a Detroit market about a failing wall, but when everyone, including a wealthy businesswoman, mocked and arrested him for spray painting a danger sign, the wall collapsed seconds later, and he became the hero who pulled her from certain death, transforming both their lives forever. Tell us in the comments where you're watching this video from, and may you be blessed with favor and the light of success as you subscribe to this channel. Saturday morning in downtown Detroit started loud. Truck doors banged shut. Vendors yelled prices over each other. The smell of fried dough filled the air. Behind the market stood a massive concrete wall, 3 meters high, streaked dark from last night's rain. Water dripped from a broken pipe at the top. Patrick Hayes stood at the edge, watching like he always did. He was 62 years old. His shoulders sagged like the world had been pressing down on them for years. His beard was patchy, his coat clean but worn at the edges. A plastic bag hung from his belt, rattling with aluminum cans he'd collected since dawn. He moved slowly, scanning the ground. Every time he bent to pick up a can, he did it carefully, like he didn't want to bother anyone. "Not here." A woman at the peach stand snapped. "You're scaring customers." "I'm just cleaning up," Patrick said quietly. "Then do it somewhere else." His chest tightened, but he stayed calm. Getting angry would only prove what they already thought about him. Patrick moved to the far corner where the wall met the pavement. It smelled like moss and old water. Nobody came here. That suited him fine. He crouched down and grabbed a crushed beer can from the weeds. Then something clicked above him. A pebble bounced near his shoe. He looked up. Another pebble fell. Then he saw it. A thin crack running down the concrete. Water was seeping through in a dirty brown line. He pressed his palm against the wall. It was vibrating. Steady. Wrong. His breath caught in his throat. Years ago, he'd worked for a contractor. He remembered the warnings. Water pressure, shifting soil collapse. The memory hit him hard. He hurried back to the stalls. "Ma'am," he said to the peach seller, "please move your table. The wall's leaking. It could fall." She frowned. "It's just rain. Leave me alone." Patrick spotted Marcus Crowley, the maintenance supervisor, in a neon vest. Relief washed over him. Finally, someone who could help. He rushed over. "Sir, there's a crack in the wall. Water's coming through. Stones are falling. Please just look." Crowley glanced up, unimpressed. "Got a photo?" "No, but..." "Then it's not a report. Submit it properly. Just walk with me." 10 seconds, Patrick begged. "If I'm wrong, I'll apologize to everyone here." "You're not an engineer," Crowley said flatly. "Step aside before I call the cops." He walked off. Patrick stood there, shaking. He wanted to scream, but forced himself to breathe. He climbed onto a wooden pallet in the market center and raised both hands. Conversation stopped. "Listen to me," Patrick called out, his voice shaking but clear. "That wall is failing. There's a crack. Water's leaking through. Please move away from it." A few heads turned. Others laughed. "Get down," the peach seller shouted. "You're scaring people." "I'm trying to keep you safe," Patrick said. "Crazy old man," someone yelled from the coffee cart. Phones lifted. Laughter rippled through the crowd. Patrick's throat tightened. He searched their faces, desperate for someone, anyone, to believe him. "I know what I look like to you," he said, his voice raw. "An old man with a bag of cans. But I've seen this before. Please, I'm begging you. Move away from that wall." Crowley appeared with 2 orange cones. "Sir, you're disrupting business. Get down now." "Not until someone checks," Patrick snapped. "Last warning. Then I'm calling the police." "The wall is going to fall," Patrick shouted, his voice cracking. "Not next month. Not next week. Now, please listen." For one long moment, silence spread. Then laughter broke it. Someone clapped mockingly. Vendors went back to selling. Patrick stepped down slowly, shoulders heavy. People turned their backs on him. In their eyes, he was just a madman, invisible once more. The next morning, Patrick stood across the street from the market. He'd slept under a hardware store awning. His throat was raw from yesterday's shouting. Nobody had listened, but he couldn't walk away. He pulled out an old can of spray paint he'd found weeks ago. His stomach twisted. He wasn't a vandal, but this was the only way left. He crossed the street slowly. The crack had widened. He shook the can and pressed down. Red paint hissed against the gray concrete. He drew a jagged line like the crack itself, then a rough image of the wall breaking apart. Across it, he sprayed in thick red letters, "Danger." "Hey, what the hell are you doing?" a man yelled. Patrick stepped back, breathing hard. "Warning you, the wall isn't safe. You're making a mess," the man snapped. Before Patrick could answer, a sharp voice cut through. "Enough!" Jennifer Whitmore strode toward him, heels clicking on the pavement. She was 30, polished in a fitted blazer and dark slacks. Everyone knew her. Owner of Whitmore Interiors, the rising star in Detroit business. She stopped in front of Patrick, arms crossed. Her eyes narrowed at the red paint dripping down the wall. "You think this helps?" she said coldly. "It's the truth," Patrick said. His voice wavered, but he stood his ground. "The crack is growing." Nobody listened. This was the only way. Jennifer's lips curled in disgust. "You've vandalized public property. Do you realize families bring their children here? I realize people are standing too close to something that could kill them." Patrick shot back. Jennifer stepped closer. "You don't get to decide how this city looks. You don't get to spread your madness on our walls." "I don't want your money," Patrick said. "I don't want your pity. I want someone to take this seriously." People gathered, whispering. Some filmed with their phones. Jennifer turned to the crowd. "This man is a nuisance. Yesterday he shouted like a lunatic. Today he paints lies." Patrick clenched his fists. "I saved drawings once. I saved deadlines. I'm not crazy. I'm telling you the truth." "Then why does it look like vandalism?" Jennifer asked coldly. She pulled out her phone. "I'm calling the police." "You can't keep ignoring this," Patrick said quietly. "Please, at least look at the wall." Jennifer tilted her head. "The only thing I feel is embarrassment for this city." She lifted the phone to her ear. "Yes, I'd like to report vandalism at the market. Yes, he's still here." The sirens came quickly. 2 officers stepped out of the patrol car. The older one, Officer Davis, walked toward Patrick. "Sir, we need to talk." Patrick raised his hands. "I'll talk, but look at the wall first. Please, do you see the crack?" The younger officer glanced at the paint. "All I see is spray paint." "It's not the paint," Patrick said urgently. "There's a crack. It's dangerous." Jennifer stepped closer. "He said the same thing yesterday. He's just looking for attention." Patrick turned to her, shaking his head. "I don't want attention. I want you alive." "Alive?" She scoffed. "You're a vandal. Nothing more." Officer Davis gestured, and the younger officer pulled Patrick's arms behind his back. The cuffs clicked shut. Patrick flinched at the cold metal. As they turned him away, A low sound cut through the air. Not faint this time. Loud. Sharp. Several heads turned toward the wall. Dust drifted from a seam above the graffiti. Small stones tumbled down. "Did you hear that?" someone muttered. Patrick twisted in the officer's grip. "That's it. That's the sound. It's starting." "Look," Patrick shouted. "Look at it." The laughter died. Another sound followed, a deep, grinding rumble. The crack widened. Dirty water poured out. Dust filled the air. "Oh my God," a woman whispered. Jennifer stood only steps from the base. The wall shuddered. Chunks of concrete crashed down near her feet. She stumbled backward, her heels slipping. The younger officer let go of Patrick. The older one shouted, "Everyone back! Move now!" The market erupted in chaos. Vendors abandoned stalls. Families pulled children. People screamed. Jennifer froze, staring up as the cracks split wider. Dust coated her hair. She coughed, eyes wide with panic. Patrick lunged forward, ignoring the cuffs cutting his wrists. "Move!" he shouted. "Get away!" She staggered, but her ankle twisted. She fell hard. The wall groaned above her, a sound like a mountain shifting. Without thinking, Patrick tore free and sprinted. His legs felt heavy, his chest burning, but his body moved on instinct. He grabbed Jennifer under her arm and pulled with all his strength. "Get up!" he yelled. "Now!" "I can't!" she gasped. "You can!" he barked, hauling her to her feet. The ground trembled. The wall gave way with a deafening roar. Stones and dirt crashed down. A cloud of dust exploded. Patrick pulled Jennifer clear just as a section of the wall slammed into the spot where she had fallen. The impact shook the ground. Concrete shattered. He shielded her with his body as debris rained around them. When the roar finally faded, a gray haze hung over the lot. Silence followed, broken only by coughing and distant sirens. Patrick knelt, chest heaving, holding Jennifer by the shoulders. She was trembling, face pale, eyes locked on the pile of rubble. "You're safe," he rasped. Jennifer looked at him stunned. You pulled me out." The crowd stood frozen. No one laughed now. They stared at Patrick, the man they had mocked, cuffed, ignored, now crouched over Jennifer, dust in his beard, his coat torn. Officer Davis approached slowly. Jesus Christ. Patrick sank back onto the pavement, wrist still bound, body shaking. No one spoke. The only sound was the steady drip of water, echoing in the silence of a crowd that finally understood. At the police station, Jennifer sat across from Patrick. Officer Davis had removed the cuffs. "I was cruel," she said, her voice low. "I saw what I wanted to see. I decided you were a problem because that was easier than listening." Patrick kept his eyes on the floor. People see what they're used to seeing. She forced herself to meet his eyes. "You saved me. You could have run. I couldn't watch you die," he said. She let out a tight breath. "I can't fix yesterday, but I can fix what happens next. I'm paying your fine, and I'm saying I was wrong. Publicly." Patrick blinked. "You don't owe me that. I owe the truth," she said. "My company needs hands in the workshop. Sanding, finishing, packing orders. It's steady. If you want it, the job is yours." Patrick stared at her. Hope felt dangerous. "I don't know if I can work around people." "It's a workshop," she said quickly. "Not a showroom. You'll be treated like anyone else." He swallowed. "I can try." She nodded. "Then we'll try." 1 year later, the market felt different. The back lot was cleaner, with new lights and a fresh wall. A sign read, "Do not park against retaining wall." Across the street, a low brick building had a new sign, Center for Community Art. Most mornings, Patrick arrived first. He unlocked the door at 8, checked the supplies, and turned on the fans. His beard was trimmed now. His hands were still rough, but steady. When he looked up, a group stood near the wall panels. "Good morning," Patrick said. "We'll start with priming." The door swung open. Jennifer stepped in, carrying supplies. "We're set," she said. Patrick smiled. "You saved the day again." She shook her head. "You saved it when you chose this." They worked as a group. Patrick drew 2 large hands rising from the lower edge of the wall, palms open, fingers slightly bent. The room quieted as people filled in the colors. At 2 o'clock, people filled the room. Jennifer stepped forward. "This center is for anyone who needs a place to work with their hands. Today, we dedicate our first mural." She turned to Patrick. "You should speak." Patrick stepped forward. "We painted this together," he said. "Some of us sleep in houses. Some of us don't. We can still build something that holds." They pulled the ribbon away. The room went quiet. The hands filled the wall, steady and open. Below them, smaller panels showed scenes from the market. People leaned in. A few clapped. It wasn't loud. It was enough. A woman approached Patrick with a little girl. "She wants to thank you," the woman said. The girl looked up. "For the socks." From the shelf. "You're welcome," Patrick said. "Take 2 pairs next time. They wear out fast." Later, Jennifer stood beside Patrick. "We should plan classes. You teach the first one." "I'll try," he said. He meant it. Outside, the new wall stood firm. A kid on a skateboard rolled past and pointed at the mural through the window. Patrick watched him go, then looked back at the hands on the wall. He didn't feel invisible anymore. He felt tired and steady. That was enough.